I know the Chevening scholarship is already running, and it's about, the deadline is on the 3rd of November. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah. So if you can all share with us, like, what are the timelines for the scholarship in terms of how they do their short and long-term listing, the interview process, the school application, and the referees. Can you lead us through that, the timelines for the application? Cherubim.
Okay. For the timelines, I think it's already up. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but if you can speak up a little bit, that will help us. Your video is activated as well.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the timelines, I think it's already opened. It will end on the 3rd day of November. I'm trying to get my video back, but okay, it's better now. So it's already open, and it will end on the 3rd day of November. That's when all applications end. So between now to the 3rd day of November, you'd want to submit all your essays, I think 4 of them, and also fill the information aspect of the form online. So between now and 3rd November, Chevening is open. And then I think from November 3 to somewhere in mid-March, by then they shortlist the selected people. So what I know is that from our time, about 2,000 applied, over 1,400 or so were eligible, and then they shortlisted about 60 people during the March. So in March, by mid-March, you would know if you've been shortlisted or not, and then you should by then be preparing for an interview. And then so your interview happens in March, and then from March to somewhere around about 2 weeks to the end of June, you would have known your final stand with Chevening. But in between the process, between now to the November 3, you should do well to at least apply for Chevening and state the schools you want to apply for. You can apply to the schools directly after November 3. So between now to November 3, just focus on the Chevening application process.
Okay. If I heard that right, that means that you can apply to the schools even after the Chevening application, but you need to show your interest in the school. Is that how it works?
Absolutely. Yeah. You need to state in the Chevening application the name of the schools you are applying to in an order. So just list them down, and then you can take your time to apply for them later. But if you can do both at once, why not? But it's best to apply for Chevening first, so you give it all your best attention, and then you apply for the schools right after November 3.
Okay. Any of the panelists want to add in terms of their application? What happened?
So I think people, even though people are applying or they're writing their essays, they should put in mind their references and educational documents as well. Because I think from 22nd February, by 22nd February, you should have uploaded your references and also uploaded your educational document. So I would entreat everyone to go on the website and read the application timeline for specific parts. Okay, so there's a time for interviews, there's a time for uploading your unconditional letters, there's a time for uploading your references. So they should take particular note of that so that they don't miss anything. And if you have the least chance or the least time, just do something that you can do within that time so that you don't get caught along the way. Because for our time, coronavirus happened and it was hard to get certain things like your references, IELTS, and all that. So people shouldn't procrastinate. They should just do when they have the time. Yeah.
I know academically people ask this question. So with the references, should they be like the people you worked for, NGOs, organizations, or lecturers, or what references did any one of you use, Irene?
So for the Chevening scholarship, most often you need 2 references, preferably one from your education institution, let's say the university you just completed with your first degree, and then from your workplace. One of the with the Chevening scholarship, one of the key things is that you need to have a 2-year working experience. So they expect one reference from your organization that you work with. So you have 2 references, one from your education institution and one from your organization you work with.
Okay.
So the most important thing is that, you don't need to wait for the time for referencing to approach before you start looking for references. What you can do is that you need to start making contact with the people who write the references for you even from now. Okay. Especially for those of us who completed our university some years back. You need to start contacting your professors or your lecturers and start establishing rapport, because if the person doesn't have that kind of relationship with you, it will be difficult for you to get the reference. And it will be very difficult that you see yourself progressing and your references delay, and for that matter, you are not selected or pushed forward to the next stage. So we should start establishing rapport with the people who are going to write the references for us from now, so that when it comes to the time for referencing, we get it very easy. Yeah.
Okay, let me just chip this in. I think I needed to write an IELTS when I was coming to do my master's here. So one of the quick questions people normally ask are like, IELTS, what do they require IELTS? Does Chevening require that you have an IELTS exam? If you don't know what IELTS exam is, it's our English proficiency exam if you want to study in the UK. Eugene. Okay, anyone of the panelists can take that.
Okay, so if Eugene is not available, I'll just go ahead
Hello?
and take it. Okay, Eugene is back.
Sorry, I think I was on mute. Thank you very much. So in our time, 2019, 2020, because, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Eugene.
Okay, sorry. So because of COVID, the coronavirus, we were fortunate to have our IELTS waived. So we didn't do that. But there's a condition. Everybody's applying to different universities in the UK. Some schools require that you have the English proficiency. It's very important. There are 2 ways. Some will require that you have the IELTS. If you push your way through, some might consider your WASI English. That's if you scored good marks in your English, or your previous university. If you have to push that through. And then sometimes they may take a letter from your university that you did your undergrad in English and you are competent and all that. In my case, I didn't have to write a general IELTS. My school, which is Swansea University, actually organized their own English language test for me, which was in the same format like an IELTS. The problem was that because of COVID, almost all the test centers were closed and the schools required it. So what they went ahead to do was they organized that test professionally. I think they got independent organizers and all that, and they did the tests, and you would take it just like you take an IELTS, and then from there, if you pass it, then you can get your admission to the school.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think yeah, someone asked if the IELTS centers. I think it's the British Council. You just walk into it's a walking center, so you can walk into the British Council and ask for the fact that you want to do IELTS, and they'll give it right up to you.